you're here. Hi, I'm Sarah Layton, and I am so excited to have you back for another mini workshop in our executive skill building series as you continue on your road to becoming a blissful or more blissful broker. I'm on a mission to help you scale more sustainably and quit with the burnout already. And before we dive in, I want to make sure you have grabbed your action plan for maintaining motivation for consistent action. This is a big part of our self esteem as we scale, a big part of how we show up, big part of our discipline, all that good stuff. So I don't want to keep you any further. I know that you're already like dragging. I'm drinking London Fog to get through this little session. What about you? This is my all-time favorite go-to for caffeine. That said, it's kind of interesting, kind of funny little like fourth wall breakage here. I'm struggling to maintain my motivation to record this series. Only because I am batch recording it. And so, like, if you haven't figured that out yet, I am batch recording this entire, like, a series of 12 right now to release drip out over the next few months. So, that said, this is, I think, like the 7th or 8th one out of 12. And you know what? I was struggling to hit that record button because there was all kinds of voices running in my head about like, oh, I could like do the other set tomorrow or maybe after lunch or whatever. But like, let's be honest, if I have lunch, I'm done so. Are you the same way? Like, do you have like a certain point in the day where like you hit a lull and that's that? Because that's always been after lunch for me. Yeah, especially between the hours of like 1 and 4. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter if I get up at 1 in the morning or 10 in the morning. I'm like brain dead during those hours. I don't know. It's the craziest thing. I'm such a morning person. So anywho, that said, welcome, fellow solopreneur, entrepreneur, service provider who is struggling to maintain motivation for consistent action. We're in this together, okay? As always, my name is Sarah Layton, and I have been a real estate content marketing strategist and writer, brand designer, membership developer, you name it, for the last 10 years. I'm the voice behind many of your favorite programs, even though you don't know that because I've been operating as a ghost for a long time. So I'm really excited to, throughout this series and all on this channel, like be with you and be able to finally share my curriculum and my content and all of the juicy exercises and tools and resources and things that I've cultivated and created from my own growth journey over the last decade here with you now, rather than as a ghost. So I'm really excited and I am proud to have you here. If you need any additional resources, like some juicy freebies, you can, of course, grab them from your action plan. And I would love to see you for free in the Roses and Thorns Challenge. That's right, you can get a 7-day free trial to learn how the system and the strategy works to create more relatable, imperfect content without pressure that actually scales relationships and trust and bonds in an era of the internet when there is so much mistrust. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'm not gatekeeping any of the how. It's totally for free in that 7-day trial. And then if you're looking for more accountability for 21 days to further install those habits through the community, you can simply upgrade from there. At the very least, I'd love to have you connected with me over on Instagram at Wildly Creative Sarah. But that's enough of that. We're trying to maintain our motivation, right? So why is this skill so important? It's tied to discipline, right? Like motivation, it helps you to stay consistent and to push through challenges and to feel energized about your progress, right? And without motivation, obviously, like everything feels so much harder. And goals can feel, see, goals can feel totally out of reach. Fitz agrees. You can hear him. And, we really need a combination of motivation and discipline in order to consistently hit these goals. And I like to think of them as two individual tools in the overall toolbox that we are building out here together with this series, right? So they go hand in hand. And each one of them is more powerful with the other. Now, if you're someone who, you know, starts strong all the time, like maybe you're someone with a lot of ideas and you get really amped up about them and you start really strong, and then you kind of lose steam along the way. Like, I think of when I think about this, I always think of my mom. She has this fun little habit sometimes. She's had like my whole life growing up, and we joke about, like, this is a known joke, so I'm not like just throwing her under the bus here, but she loves to just all of a sudden get a burst of energy and decide to rearrange all of the kitchen cabinets. But sometimes halfway through, when everything is out like all over the place, then suddenly she's lost motivation. So, I have lots of memories of like coming home from school and like finding this, or waking up in the morning and finding this, or different things. So, maybe this is actually a common thing. A lot of people do this. Let me know if you're one of them. So my poor mom isn't the only one under the bus. But if any of that sounds relatable, then I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place. We're doing the right things today, and let's kick it off with our activity for this workshop. All right, we are going to do a little motivation check-in. So, all right, just move myself a little bit. Okay, for this week, I want you to think about a goal that you have been working on, that's forefront in your mind. And I want you to start by making a note of what originally got you so jazzed up about this goal or this idea. So, why is it important to you? What is so meaningful about it? What will the impact be, short term, long term, on you, on your energy, on your relationships, on your business, right? Like, what makes this so important for you to bring to life, or to worthy of your limited time and energy here on this earth, in this life? Okay. And then we're going to make note of what would happen if you did not work toward this goal. How are you going to feel? Will there be any noticeable things that happen or don't happen that are important to you? Like, what is the difference this is really going to make, right? And then what is one thing that you can do today, right now, okay, to reignite your motivation around this thing that you are currently struggling to maintain your motivation for? Okay? It's important that you just take a moment and really like note that to yourself before we move into developing your motivation strategy. Right? That's the whole point, is that we didn't have a strategy in place for when this would happen, and this happens to every single one of us. It's inevitable, right? It's not like some character flaw that you lost motivation. It's human. Okay, it's part of the human experience, my friend. So, as always, no shame in your game with this. But we need to get intentional and draw some awareness to what does keep us motivated here. So classic examples, toxic or not, like maybe if your goal is, you know, like weight loss related or something, maybe you buy a dress in the size that is your goal, and make it like really expensive, or like just like a treat in some way, something that like you really 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 love, and then maybe that trophy or that trinket or that thing, you know, that prize is your motivator. But your motivator can be a million different things. It just has to be something that motivates you, and the more the merrier. And then next door in this handy little box here, I want you to make note of how um, you can use that motivator more often and sort of intertwine it into the process of achieving the goal. Okay. And that those two, like taking just a few minutes to do that right there is going to go a really long way in helping you to be successful with this. Okay. And then finally, and sometimes in our reflection questions in these workshops, I have you do them before you really get started. Other times we do it at the very end, after a few days, or at the end of the week, or whatever it is that we're working on. And this time I'm going to give you the choice to do it how you want to, or maybe do both, further leaning into the, you know, scientific method playfully, like we like to around here. So how can you make motivation a habit rather than waiting for it to appear? See what we did there in 3 steps, right? So first, we made a list of what motivates you. We tied it to how you can implement that more naturally, more often. And then we're drawing the connection around it and installing a little bit more accountability and discipline and self-responsibility around it, ultimately giving you more agency, more power, more control, more of a sense of safety, and self-love and self-worth and all these good things, self-esteem, right? All essentials for scaling a sustainable business and being a broker, being a leader in your community for your team, and attracting a downline if that's part of your business model. So I would love to have you join me for another mini workshop around building your executive functioning skills. This time around, following routines, particularly setting and committing to them. So, if that's something that you've struggled with in the past, I highly encourage you to join us for that. But thank you again for being here as we regain our motivation, right? I'm gonna work on doing it. You're gonna work on doing it. We're gonna do it together. Let me know how it's going. I can't wait to hear from you. All my love. Mwah.